Hi everyone. So today I was thinking about the journey of an agribusiness entrepreneur or my journey as an agribusiness entrepreneur. And it got me thinking to some of the moments that I may, sorry, some of the moments that I may have considered that were learning points for me. And I started my agribusiness venture back in 2017 as a sole proprietorship. It has morphed over the years to a point where it's now a company that is limited by liability. And one of the learning points that I have gone through was actually back in around 2020 during the COVID period. During that time, we all know that most things were kind of stalled. A good number of markets, especially the initial stages of 2020 were kind of positive, but as the COVID period set in, things were really getting bad because we know for a good number of people, the reason why we do poultry businesses or the reason why we are in the poultry business space is because poultry and poultry products are actually a great source of protein, a great and affordable source of protein for most households and most restaurants and most, like within the food market, poultry is one of the key sources of protein for the society. So during that COVID period, things really changed. 1, 2, 3, 4 months in, it was good because people were coming home, jobs were not moving, and people were going kind of trying to look for things to do. And one of the greatest markets that we actually got to enjoy or benefit from was the markets from, I think, the teachers, because schools were closed and teachers were home, and we all know nobody wants to be idle. So most of the teachers and most of these people that got to be home were actually considering poultry business as one of the ways to keep themselves busy. So the initial times of that was good, but poultry business, poultry keeping takes about 3-4 months for it to reach market weight if it's for slaughter. And that is what most of these improved kienyeji or the improved indigenous breeds of kienyeji that we keep are actually good for. They are good for sale as a source of protein, be it their eggs or be it the meat. Yeah. And the time period for that is about 3 to 4 months. So after people had bought these birds, at some point the market got to stall. And when the market stalled, that time I think I was into hatching. We were doing hatching, me and one of my peers, and maybe one day I'll get to invite him over this talk so that he may also share his experience. Yeah, his business has really grown to this time. It has really advanced to a really beautiful level to see. So during that time we were doing hatching, and when the market kind of slowed down in the uptake of chicks, we faced a financial crisis. Because one, now you have all these chicks that are growing in your farm, and from all these chicks, you're actually having a growing population of birds. And everyone who knows poultry business, when the poultry starts consuming in the initial stages, it is kind of manageable because they're chicks and they're not eating that much. But as they grow, as they progress, they get to start consuming more and more and more and more. So one of the challenges we had during that time is to be able to actually sustain that rapid growth from the birds, the rapid growth in the numbers of poultry that we were having on the farm, and the ability to actually manage such a population. And that brings me to what I wanted to talk about today. And as a business major from my education, one of the moments that we've actually been, one of the learnings that we actually came out with from there, although being a business major does not necessarily make you an entrepreneur, being an entrepreneur is a totally different learning experience compared to actually going to classes and school. Yeah. You may be good in business on book level, being an accountant, being a business manager and all that, but being able to actually run your own business is a journey that you have to go through as an individual. So during that time, as I was saying, we got to be engaged with one of the NGOs or one of the organizations that are actually in the space to support farmers and support agribusiness ventures that are actually trying to come up. And the reason they do that is to actually create more employment, build your business to a time that it can actually engage more youths into the employment space. So in one of those spaces, one of those trainings, one of those boot camps, we actually got to interact with a concept that we came with from business school. And the concept is the idea that for any business out there, cash is king. Cash is king. And the reason why I say cash is king is because without cash in your business is not able to actually meet any of its obligations. Be it the day-to-day demands of the business, be it the monthly obligations like paying your rent and paying your workers and paying your insurances, be it the annual obligations of paying your annual income tax and all that, yeah. But without that bit of cash flow in your business, you are almost as good as failed. And that can be exampled with our case during that corona period when we got to have so many birds that we were not able to sustain. The business almost got crippled. And I'll give an example in my case. So during that time, it got to a point where I had about 1,500 chicks at day-old stage, from the day-old stage, that is after hatching. And the view was that if we could actually brood these birds to a period of around 1 to 2 months, and then we shall have found customers for them, it would have been a good business idea, or the market would have really been able to allow us sustain us. But then at the point when the market stalled or slowed down, now we were having these 1,500 birds ready to eat every morning and every evening without you actually being able to sell and being short on cash to actually sustain that demand. Everybody who knows for the improved kienyeji breeds, it is actually possible that within the first month, for every 100 chicks, maybe they'll consume between 1 to 1.5 bag, 50 kg bags of feed. And around that time, I think 1 kg of chick mash or chick mash or chick pellets were going for about 3,500. Back then, things were a little affordable. Right now, it has skyrocketed to about 4,300, 4,200. A margin of almost 700 shillings. So farmers are really suffering, yeah? But at this period, if 100 birds can consume, let's put it on the lower end, 1 bag of 50 kg at 3,500. And now I'm here having 1,500 birds. So that is going to be 15 bags at 3,500 shillings a bag. Now 3,500 shillings a bag for 1 month period times 15 bags. That is in upwards of 45,000 shillings. Yeah? Now, almost 40 to 50,000 shillings. And that is for the first month alone. And then now you come to a point where now you have to go into the second month. And again, now, once they have crossed the 1 month mark, we know with chicken, the consumption of their feeds is progressive. Once they have crossed the 1 month mark, they again now consume higher volumes of feed. So maybe in the second month, it won't be the same 15 bags. It may rise up to about 20 bags of feeds. Again, shooting it upwards to about 60,000, 70,000 shillings of feeds. And those are just approximations. They are not exact figures. Yeah. But if you want to know the exact figures, I actually have a feed calculator, feed consumption calculator that shows the pricing that every chicken can have. The price, the amount of feed in grams or in kgs that a chick can consume on daily, to the point that they are ready for the market, and the associated price for the feeds of bags. So if you want that, you can actually reach out to me on my social media pages, as there are got on Facebook, there are got on TikTok, there are got on Twitter, or through mostly through my social media platforms, and I can be able to share that with you. But anyway, beyond that point, so on the second month, we are already looking at figures of, the first month you've already spent approximately 50,000. Going to the second month, you're going spending around another 70,000. And yet the market is still not opening up well. You may have some few birds sold here and there, but it's not in volumes that can actually sustain your farm. So what happens is this: your birds are growing, you're not having the cash to sustain them, you're not having the cash to actually expand your facilities to be able to host them, because as they're growing, they're also getting to occupy more space. And that is why in my previous videos where I talk about how you design your farm matters or influences how you succeed, it's because the room that you place your brooders may not be the same room that you want to place your growers or the chicks that are at growth stage, or it may not be the same room. That the designs are different for the chicks, the layers, the growing birds and all that. Yeah. So in our case, we are not able to actually expand by building more structures for the birds that are growing and also having cash enough to actually sustain their feeding. So what happens? You start experiencing challenges like overcrowding. Now, if the food is not enough and they're getting hungry, you start experiencing challenges like cannibalism. And if the chicks are also not getting sufficient food, then now they are again susceptible to possible infections. So it really put us through a great challenge back there, and it is something that was more of a learning point. So back to what I wanted to talk about, the concept of cash is king for businesses. The cash that you have within your business circulating on the daily is what actually keeps your business afloat. Without that good cash backing for your business, you may not be able to meet your obligations as a business and as an entrepreneur. And that is one of the factors that has actually contributed to a number of entrepreneurs or a number of businesses actually closing shop and saying, you know what, this is not working for us. So in one of the trainings that we were at, and I believe the training was conducted by Kenya Climate Innovation Center, the KCIC programs. They are very main. There was the agribusiness program, the Vijana kwa agribusiness program. There are multiple programs that the organization runs, and they're quite beneficial. So we were there for a boot camp, a 6-month boot camp before we were actually let now to go and experience the world of entrepreneurship. So in one of those boot camps, one of the concepts that was taught to us is that you have to do everything that the big companies do if you want to succeed. And what am I getting at with this? What I'm getting at with this is that you have to be able to kind of replicate the things that the big businesses do, because they are established businesses. So of course they are successful. That is why they are well established. Now you have to try and replicate the bits of their business that are working, even if it's not to the same perfection that they are doing it, but you have to kind of try and replicate them to your business. And one of the bits that I'd say is comparable to what I'm talking about now is the bit about cash being king. One, when you go to the big businesses, the moment you want to purchase something from them, you have to pay upfront. You have to always pay that upfront. There is never any credit sales. And everybody knows it, even for the online setup businesses, the online stores. You pay for the good before it is dispatched to you. And why am I bringing this in relation to the small businesses and, in my case, the agribusiness ventures? Is that when you are starting up your business, your first point of marketing is always your friends, your family, and those who are acquainted with you. And because these people are always on a they are dealing with you and your business on a familiarity basis, sometimes they do not get to identify the difference between you, the individual, and your business. Why do I say this? You'll find that they come purchasing from you as if they're just purchasing from you. Like me, if they're buying from the ragot and my friends are buying from me, they're coming to promote the ragot. So they are not coming to buy because they feel they need it. They kind of come to buy from you in a sense as if they're coming to build you. And that little sense of entitlement always offers challenges to the small businesses, because when they come with the essence or with the ideology that they're coming to support you and not because they need this thing that you're selling, they always come and say, uko na hii kitu? Oh, sorry, do you have this? Can you sell to me, and then maybe nitakulipa end month, I'll give you the money at the end of the month. What they don't realize relatable to other businesses, of course. What they don't realize for the poultry business that we are in is that daily, your business is in need of that cash in order to sustain itself. There is no day that the chicks will wake up and say, no, you know what, today you can just leave us. We'll just stay hungry for the day. You'll give us food end month. Yeah. There is never that instance in poultry business. You wake up and they're demanding. The moment they see you, they start making noises because they want the food. So when a business or a friend comes to buy from you and they're telling you, can you sell this to me and then I'll pay you at the end of the month, what they don't know or they don't realize is that they are already crippling you as a business. That is the first bit I wanted to talk about. As a small business, unless you are actually able to establish that rule clearly, that there is no credit sales unless there is a written agreement between the business and the customer, or that you actually have credit allowing policies in your business, then don't go for any credit sales. Kufuata mtu juu ya deni ya biashara is one of the most difficult things. You will fail if you start your business that way. Anyway, there is that. Then the second bit I wanted to talk about is how you are going to be able to get into that market and actually be able to find this challenge still coming in. For the poultry businesses, we know that we are in here to sell eggs and meat. It's just two things. Yeah? Any other thing is just a byproduct of the business process. We are here to sell eggs and meat. And normally when you are starting up, when your business starts to get known and you're feeling, I'm getting into this market, I'm getting in this, I'm getting that, you're starting to be present within the poultry space. There's always this confidence like, if I can get 2-3 hotels that are constantly buying from me, and I'm constantly supplying them, then I'd be able to break even. This will be an assured market for my products, and everybody knows an assured market is better than one that you gamble with. So this comes with 2 challenges. One, before you are able to approach a hotel or an established business that can actually be buying from you, a hotel, an abattoir, or a trader that is constantly in the business of selling chicken, then you need to be able to sustain that market. And when I talk about sustaining that market is that there should be no time when such a business or such a hotel or such a trader calls on to you and tells you, can you supply me with chicken? And then you tell them, sina, ebu ngoja mpaka end month, can you wait for this period of time? And hope that if they call you 2-3 times and there is nothing that you're selling them, they'll still be able to consider you as a business. No, they'll shift their attention elsewhere and actually give that market to someone else that is able to supply. And that is where the traders beat us. Sisi wenye tuko kwa poultry farming, I know you know what I'm talking about. We get to call them brokers, but through some of these trainings that we go through, we were actually told to refer to them as traders because they're also just there to make an earning for themselves. So what I'm getting at is this. You have to actually be able to sustain the market that you're getting into. And to be able to sustain that, you need cash. Again, cash is king. Because if it's for broilers, an example, if it's for broilers that you're producing, you need to be able to do the 5-6 week cycles continuously. And with broilers, it's fast moving. Once you get the market, it's something that is constantly moving. People will be coming for 10, 20, 30, 40 pieces of birds on the daily once they get ready. So once you reach a point where your market is actually getting in sync with your production, you need to be able to match your production with the market as well. And that means if you are selling to hotels, you need to be able to categorize these hotels that how much are they consuming on the monthly. And if this is their consumption of it on every month's basis, then you need to stagger your production to match that market consumption. This is just so that you can avoid all these headaches of struggling to find a market. And we all know with the poultry, once they get to market weight and you're still feeding them, they are not beneficial to you anymore. They are instead now eating back into the profits that you are looking forward to getting. So that is the first bit I wanted to talk about. You being able to sustain that market. And to sustain that market, you need cash. Cash will help you sustain your market. Because, for example, if your market is consuming 200 birds on the daily, and the upwards of that, I don't know about broilers, but you'll realize that maybe, for example, if they'll be consuming for one cycle for the 200 birds, if maybe you'll be spending about, let me say about 70,000 shillings or 80,000 shillings in feeding, then you'll realize that if you raise 200 birds and then sell them off and then start again, it will be 1 month and 1 week before you actually take your product back to the market. Yet your market still needs chicken within this period that you are not producing. So that will give room to your competitors to actually slip in and start supplying. And if your competitor gets to have enough cash to sustain, expand, and actually supply that market, you are doomed. You are gone. You are not a market player anymore. And then the second bit is that this is the second bit I wanted to talk about when it comes to interacting with such trading businesses and hotels and all that, yeah, is that when you are approaching hotels and you are looking forward to supplying them, the hotels also have their own supplier payment policies, and that which they implement within their business in order to actually sustain themselves is they also know that for them cash is king. So they also don't want to just be getting rid of cash every now and then some crisis may find them when they are not liquid enough and then result in their failure. So most of these hotels will actually tell you that no, for us when you're supplying us, you get into an engagement with them and they'll tell you, for us when you're supplying us, we will be paying our suppliers maybe every week or every fortnight or every month, depending on how the hotel has its supplier payment policies aligned. So what this poses to you as a farmer and a challenge is that you realize you are not able to, if you don't have enough cash flow, again, cash is king. If you don't have enough cash to sustain the birds on your farm as you're waiting for their payment, then you are going to have a challenge because your money is held up by the hotels. On this other end, the birds that you're trying to maintain in this cycle of production so that you also meet the demands of the market also need food. So you're having a challenge of actually getting your money from the hotels and also actually sustaining the birds that you are raising on your farm. So still again, you find that you're facing the challenge of actually having enough cash and liquidity to sustain your business. So that again is another challenge that farmers and agribusiness ventures within the poultry space, and I know it's applicable to any business that is out there, is facing. You have to be able to be liquid enough to actually sustain that supply. And then when you talk about cash is king again, you realize that for most of our businesses, we are dependent on the day in, day out sales. You sell, you pay, you sell, you pay, you sell, you pay. If your market is not able to pay you promptly or in time, you're also going to have the challenge of actually paying your suppliers. Because some of the farmers have actually got to a point where they're in good relationships with the suppliers, or maybe the feeds, the vaccinations, the medications for their chicken, such that these people can actually give them these things on credit. But them giving you on credit is also just as important for them to have enough cash flow to actually get to their suppliers, to be able to continuously supply them so that they can supply you and so that you can also supply your market. So that is one of the second point that I wanted to get at when I talk about your business having enough cash to sustain their cycles and actually being able to be present within the market in order to sustain themselves within this period that you are waiting for your suppliers to actually do what? Actually get to pay you. And now, because now I've placed these challenges here, everybody knows that my farm is based in Homa Bay County and partly within Migori County. So that is where my major areas of operation get to lie. Sorry. Now, why am I mentioning this? One of the greatest challenges that farmers have faced is to actually have a sustainable and promptly paying market for their products. And in that line, I would like to give a prompt to one of the entities that has come up within my region to actually try and offer our farmers this solution. And that is the Homa Bay Poultry Hub. If you go on Facebook, if you go on, on Facebook and WhatsApp, you'll actually get to see the page that is called Homa Bay Poultry Hub. It is a collection of farmers. It's not one individual. It's a collection of farmers and traders and marketers and all that is trying to solve this challenge of markets for most farmers. So if you are a farmer, you're having chicks, you're having day-old birds, you're having ready-to-slaughter birds, you're having an abattoir that is actually looking for chicken, be it within Homa Bay, around Homa Bay, Kisumu. Those are regions that are accessible to this entity. Homa Bay, Kisumu, Kisii, Migori, Keroka, and I think maybe the western region, yeah. They are accessible to Homa Bay easily. If you are a farmer within those regions, you are a trader within those regions, you are a producer, and any level of this value chain that you're actually participating in, and you're looking for market for your products or markets to source your products, you can actually reach out to Homa Bay Poultry Hub on Facebook, and then they'll be able to link you to a farmer that is closer to you, and that will kind of help you source for your products. Or if you're a farmer and you're looking to sell your products, you can actually reach out to them and they'll be able to source a market for you promptly that you'll be able to dispose your birds, of course. And then the good thing about Homa Bay Poultry Hub is that it's actually able to pay you promptly and then solve your cash crunch problem that you are having initially, and be able to actually sustain your business in terms of the cash demands and all that. And the reason why I'm also mentioning this Homa Bay Poultry Hub is that we all know that most of the businesses that we are starting up and running at this level, and within the agriculture value chain, the agricultural space and the poultry value chain, we realize that most of the ventures are actually small to medium scale ventures. They are not in a position to go big scale and operate on those larger scale levels. Yeah? So in order to actually overcome the challenge of actually sustaining the supplies to the market and being able to be present continuously within the market space, it is critical for such producers to actually get into one umbrella, get under one umbrella, and they can do that through maybe getting under cooperative societies or CBO groups, and having a group kind of negotiation with the entities that they're actually interacting with within the business space in order to actually overcome the market challenge bit. And with the market challenge being solved, or the market problem being solved, you're actually also able to solve the problem of, again, cash is king, the problem of not having enough cash to run your business. So that is it from my experience, and I hope that this is actually beneficial to one farmer out there or any other entity that may find this relatable to their business in terms of how you're going to be running your business and actually being able to sustain your business through the period that you need to meet your financial obligations, your day-to-day cash obligations and all that. So I hope this was helpful. I hope the story was kind of engaging enough, and I hope that you'll click on that button, subscribe to my channel, get to share it with everyone who may find this educative or beneficial to them, and let us all grow together. My pages are there. I got on Facebook, on Twitter, on TikTok, and on Instagram as well. You can reach out to me in case you have to discuss any other thing, or you have an idea that we can actually share and talk about in relation to businesses, and majorly within the agribusiness and poultry space as well. So thank you, subscribe and share this to other individuals, and may you enjoy. See you next week.